Greetings, my name is Slight, and this is a Gunfire Reborn solo R8 run on Qian Sui, the Turt. This run showcases an interesting question. Is the Tiger Cannon a good weapon? Let's take a deep dive into this. The Tiger Cannon has a massive 680 base damage with a huge 6-meter explosion radius. But it shoots slowly at 1 shot per second, has a puny magazine size of 1, a very long reload time at 2.5 seconds, an abysmal effect chance at 10%, it cannot naturally crit, and has the worst move speed in the game. Using my weapon damage calculator, the Tiger Cannon has an initial level 0 DPS of 304. Let's compare that to the Scorching Rounds, which has an initial DPS of 380. Not too much better until you consider the fact that Scorching Rounds can crit, bringing its base all crit DPS to a respectable 1.5k. But just to compare both of these to an actually powerful weapon, the Angelic Aura has a base DPS of about 1,000 and an all crit DPS of about like 3.5k. But that's a bit disingenuous, isn't it? See, one of the best things about a Tiger Cannon is that it sort of rarely misses its shots. It's really easy to kill bandit retainers with a Tiger Cannon. If we assume that the average player hits like 60% of their shots on an Angelic Aura, and only half of those are crits, then the average sort of real-life DPS of an Angelic Aura is 1,600, which is still a lot higher than a Tiger Cannon. So, well, how is it possible to justify the Tiger Cannon's DPS being so low? Okay, well, the idea is that the Tiger Cannon can hit multiple enemies at the same time. So, for the Tiger Cannon to compete with the Scorching Rounds base DPS, it needs to hit 2 enemies with at least 1 in every 5 shots. Not too bad, right? That's pretty doable. So to keep up with the Angelic Aura's real-life DPS, the Tiger Cannon would need to hit 5 enemies on every shot and 6 enemies on 1 in 3 shots. But things get much, much worse for the Tiger Cannon on bosses. Bosses tend to be fought by abusing large crit boxes. Bosses are really hard to miss. So the benefit of using the Tiger Cannon is lost on bosses, since all the other weapons have an incredibly easy time hitting like 100% of their shots. On a boss, that Angelic Aura's real-life DPS turns into all crit DPS with no misses at 3.5k DPS. The Tiger Cannon would have to hit 10 simultaneous hitboxes on the boss all at the same time to be able to keep up with that kind of damage. Not only that, but bosses tend to be far away, and the Tiger Cannon's slow projectile speed can actually make it hard to hit bosses, which is just some real sad stuff because it takes away like the one thing the Tiger Cannon had going for it. Explosive weapons usually can't crit, and the developers of Gunfire Reborn have tried to compensate for this fact by letting skill damage also boost explosion damage. This makes intuitive sense because explosion weapons shoot slowly and take time to reload, so you can maximize this downtime by using skills in between shots and during the reloads. So skill damage builds and explosive builds are sort of intended to go hand in hand. Also, because the weapons can't crit, lucky shot, rate of fire, number of projectiles, all these become much more important than other damage bonuses because you're missing a key component of damage boosting for most weapons that normally comes from landing crits. It's important to note that all weapons that can't crit can't get the gold generation from the bounty hunter talent in the talent tree, which tends to add up to quite a bit over the course of the game. And further, the defensive enemy enhancement in reincarnation makes non-crits do 40 and 50 and 60% less damage depending on which act you're on. And there is currently no functionality that reduces this penalty for weapons that can't crit. So if your weapon can't crit, you basically just take a full minus 60% damage in Act 3 and Act 4 with no way of getting around that. Both of these issues really hurt the Tiger Cannon, especially a late game defensive enemy, because if it wasn't bad enough that the damage reduction is unavoidable, it's also in a large AoE. So one of the few good things about the Tiger Cannon is that it can hit multiple enemies. So the fact that the enhancement is AoE makes it even more punishing against this type of weapon. So it sounds like you might have to swap to a good weapon to take these enemies down. I say all of this to lead you to 5 essential points. Tiger Cannon struggles heavily on bosses. It needs to hit multiple enemies at once to have any hope of keeping up in DPS. It needs to have some synergy with skill damage and lucky shot. It needs to solve its incredibly long reload time and low magazine size. And it needs a lot a lot of love. So here, I introduce you to the star of the show. Look at him. Isn't he cute? By using the magazine share Gemini, we can solve the reload time and magazine size shortcomings of the weapon. The plus 25% rate of fire boost is great for the weapon too, since it tends to shoot so slowly. The plus 1 projectile plus 100% consumption is a massive 100% multiplicative damage boost for this weapon when we are using the magazine share Gemini setup. The 30% damage bonus on elites and bosses is exceptional for this weapon, since the 30% bonus is multiplicative, and this helps to alleviate the struggles this weapon has with bosses. A total lucky shot chance of plus 65 from inscriptions brings our base lucky shot to 90% with the talent tree, and lastly, the explosion radius increase means that we are more likely to be able to hit more enemies at once than we normally would be able to. This is probably the ideal set of inscriptions for the Tiger Cannon, especially in R8. The only way we can make this much better is by abusing no reload synergies with Advanced Depot. And as a last pit stop before we move on to Qian Sui, let's do a final weapon comparison, okay? All right, if we do a mag shared Gemini to a plus 0 angelic aura with some other similar weapon, we get an overall DPS increase of about 58%. So that's pretty good, right? In comparison, the plus 0 Tiger Cannon gets a 300% DPS increase from this Gemini. All right, just at base. And that's assuming we can get the total magazine size above 33. To get to that 300% DPS, we need to be above 33. That is a massive DPS boost, and it is indicative that this Gemini solves a major downside of the weapon. But is it worth it? Can we make this viable? Let's talk about Wave Rider and Hostile Gift. Shout out to Walter X8 and Galandil for helping me with some of this turtle info and generally being a good source of information on the hero, and everything. These guys are great. First things first, we are using the double tap Aspis strategy, where you abuse a core defensive setup of 1 level of Unfathomable Ocean, 1 level of Mighty Stream, and Ebb and Flow. These 3 ascensions give you 100% uptime for Unfathomable Ocean, because the extra duration from Mighty Stream reduces the cooldown of Aspis enough so that Aspis is ready just when Unfathomable Ocean ends. This is because of the Unshielded Forced hero talent. And the on-command shield regeneration from Ebb and Flow is very powerful in combination with this max shield boost. Moreover, the 1 level in Mighty Stream also gives us 100% uptime for powerful ascensions like Wave Rider and Hostile Gift. Hostile Gift is a 1 ascension wonder. If this ascension was on any other hero, it would be completely busted. And that is evidenced by it also being completely busted on the turtle. The ammo magazine recovery sets up no reload synergies on high magazine weapons, especially those with a mag cap Gemini. The reload speed and rate of fire are exceptionally powerful stats and constitute an incredible DPS increase across a huge variety of weapons. And also, if you're using a weapon that burns through ammo, this ascension also solves all of your ammo consumption problems, all with essentially 100% uptime. Okay, but the really cool stuff comes from Wave Rider. This ascension slipped past my OP detection field when I first read it, but this ascension can get pretty crazy. First things first, the ascension gives move speed for a duration during and after Aspis, but the bonus damage is a permanent bonus. This means that with no other movement speed bonuses than Wave Rider, at level 3 you're looking at an 80% weapon and skill damage increase. Well, that's already really good. Specifically for explosive weapons. Yeah, this is one of the single most powerful ascensions for launchers in the whole game. It solves the terrible move speed problem that these weapons have, all while double dipping into weapon and skill damage. Not only that, but it scales based on any move speed bonuses. So stuff like Ostrich Rider is a 100% weapon and skill damage bonus with 100% uptime if you have level 3 of this ascension. That's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. As a final note, if you are looking to get a build like this off the ground, I highly recommend Ultimate Gambler. Being able to drill down into the key components of the build is much stronger than most of the hero-specific blessings that this hero has specifically for this type of build. So sit back, enjoy the music, and you know how it is. Sub only if you want to see more of these. I make these for fun. Don't sub for me. Sub for you.